There's so much excitement about China's reopening and the impact on tourism. When do you think tourism will return to pre-COVID levels?
Yeah, for domestic travel, we already see a very strong rebound. The volume is already exceeding 2019 level. For cross-border transactions, we are still working with our global partners, such as global airlines, international airports, to make sure their capacity is back to 2019 level.
So it is a capacity issue.
Correct.
Any indications when that capacity will be back? Because even for countries which have opened up, they're having the issue of capacity.
Right. Yeah, we just had a meeting this morning with global partners. Many of them are gearing up their autonomy robots to help with the lack of the labors in some instance. So we're hoping that during the first half of the year, all the partners will speed up to increase their capacity. And hopefully by the second half of the year, we'll be able to see the normalized level.
There's further commitment from the Chinese government to open up the country. In fact, we heard from Liu He just today that China is indeed open. How are you reading that?
We're very excited because in the past 3 years, due to COVID, not so many people can travel around the world. Now our government is very committed to opening up the border. So we love to invite international friends to come back and visit China.
I want to take a look at the amount the Chinese are willing to spend. Pre-COVID, they spent about $280 billion a year. When can we get to that level again, and what is it right now?
Yeah, I think wherever we go in the summer before the open up, every country I went into, people always ask me, when can Chinese consumers to come. So I think the world is ready to see Chinese travelers. And because of the pent-up demand for this year, the buying power will be very strong. So any countries which can scientifically manage the pent-up demand will benefit economically.
We've been talking about pent-up demand. Once that pent-up demand is already met, what kind of pace will tourism grow in terms of for Chinese travelers?
Yeah, normally we look at a couple of indexes. First baseline is GDP growth. So for example, if GDP growth is between 5 to 6%, travel normally can outpace the GDP by a couple of percentage, say 7 to 8%. And we will be able to outpace the industry. So it will be a sustainable, healthy growth once the pent-up demand is addressed.
Are there travel trends that have emerged post-pandemic? I mean, are there certain destinations that are more popular? Are there certain, measures that need to be met before Chinese travelers are willing to travel again?
Yes. We classify the new trends in 4 S's. The first S is very safety driven. So we advise our international partners really put together nice safety measures to protect travelers. Secondly, consumers much prefer smaller groups rather than travel with lots of strangers. Now they prefer to travel with their families and close friends. The third one is short booking window because it's the first time the border opens. So the booking pattern tend to be at the last minute. So we also work with our hotel partners, airline partners to make sure they are used to the new pattern. And lastly is a new trend from new generation. They're very sustainable driven. People will choose hotels which participate in the green travel initiatives. People will select planes that emit less. So we are very excited for the new generation who focus on sustainability.
We've been talking about outbound travel. How about inbound travel? We know there's still quarantine being imposed in China, certain restrictions still in place. How is inbound travel looking?
Yeah, the country opened up totally on January the 8th, so there is no more quarantine required. So as soon as the news was announced, all my international business partners were very excited. They start to call me and email me, try to make reservation for them to come back. So I think the business traveler will take the first wave, and we are also very open. Hopefully we'll be able to bring international travelers back to China also.
How soon do you think that will happen?
I'm hoping once the capacity of the international flight resumes, we'll be able to increase the volume into China.
What are you most optimistic about for 2023, Jane?
Yeah, 2023, I'm very optimistic because we have been, suffering from COVID for so long in the global places. Finally, the globe is open. Every country is free to travel to. So I'm very excited for the potential opportunities. So we'll work very hard with our global partners to make sure they are ready for us to bring the customers from China, from Asia to their destination.
How are you assessing the risk of a global slowdown? We're expecting a recession in Europe, possibly even in the US, and there is a 65% chance, let's say, of a global recession. How might that impact travel?
Yeah, I think Chinese consumers, if they can grow at a GDP level at about 5%, that will be very good to offset the recession in the other area. Secondly, if the Chinese consumers is traveling around the world, that will bring job opportunities as well as the buying power. So our mission is, while we are sending people further away, we are bringing the world closer. So travel is very important during a very challenging period so that we can enhance international exchange and promote global